Hello everyone, it's Jake Rahman here, and I've just got back from IMSH 2026 in San Antonio, and it was fantastic. It was great to meet all my old ex-colleagues and walk around the exhibition hall with Simzine, our partners, and interview people in healthcare simulation, both in industry and users. Um, I think the key take home from me is that the AI gold rush in healthcare simulation really has started. It was pretty clear that most of the bigger companies and lots of the smaller companies were trying to put their best foot forward with AI. And what I wanted to do was come home and make a little report and try and make some sense of it, really, because it left my head a little bit fuzzy as to what it was all about with regards to the AI that's out there. I just want to highlight as well within healthcare simulation, which, let's face it, it's a really early market. So we're still a young market overall, and we're growing and we're trying to catch up with other technologies that are out there, established technology. Tech that's out there within the domestic markets, for instance, and I think it's important to point out some of the false flags that have come before in technology with healthcare simulation. For instance, urinary output on mannequins, controlled urinary output. We didn't really need it, but industry told us we did. Drug recognition arms, we don't really need them. They're a little bit clunky, but industry told us that we needed them. And now people get along with scenarios without drug recognition arms perfectly well. Putting Wi-Fi on mannequins, it was, every single patient simulator now pretty much has Wi-Fi on it, and it's unlikely that people will buy without Wi-Fi if they've got electronics within their simulator. But at the time, it was a little bit of a false flag because people don't really move patient simulators around much with the Wi-Fi on. They don't really do many of the transfer scenarios that we thought we were all going to be doing constantly. And a lot of the time, the simulators seem to be tethered to Wi-Fi just in case there's any dropout so it doesn't interfere in scenarios. So did we really need Wi-Fi that much? And then we've got, of course, the VR and AR side of it. It was notable that there were less VR and AR companies at IMSH this year, and I felt that trend starting at ASPE back in November. But the reason being behind that is I think it's because the VR headsets that have been sold out there, they don't get used as often as people thought they would get used. A lot of them are stuck in cupboards. People have found it hard to fit them into the curriculum. And they are sometimes a little bit clunky for faculty to use, to train with, and students to use. And VR and AR has consolidated, I think, in healthcare simulation into a few big companies that are making great successes of it, but have the resources to try and get the people that have bought into it to continue to use their VR headsets and AR headsets, and they're really trying to fit them into curriculums. But a lot of the smaller companies, they've either disappeared or haven't developed anything new and got nothing really to talk about, apart from maybe their AI solutions that they're putting into AR and VR. Now, a lot of the AI solutions, I could see they could really work in healthcare simulation, especially some of the OSCE related AI scenarios, and the formative assessment AI scenarios that are out there. I think if they get that right, it's going to be amazing. But I did feel that some of them had over-egged it with gimmicks on there that are not really important to healthcare simulation, not really important to delivering education to students. And sometimes this could really, affect negatively the learning of outcome if we're obsessed with gimmicks rather than just obsessed with delivering good outcomes to students. I think it's really important as well that any AI application that comes out to make sure that human element is still involved. So from delivering it from a faculty point of view, and also making sure that the student does have some human contact throughout their uses of AI. I think that's really, really important. So the companies that have a mixture of the two are really going to, I think, set the world on fire with AI. Um, Also with AI, there does seem to be a couple of companies out there that are backing up their AI solutions with some academic research behind it. Now, that's really important in healthcare simulation. There's not enough, I believe, really, really uh, um, uh, respective healthcare simulation papers that are out there with regard to academic research showing that it works, showing that there are massive benefits for students by using healthcare simulation. And the more academic research that's done by industry as they are bringing out these products, as they're developing these products, the more kudos that it will get overall in the healthcare industry and environment overall, because we know that real medical devices and pharmaceuticals, they have to go through stringent research. They have to be backed up by academic research. They have to go through regulation. And the more of that happens in an industry with AI, the better it will be for the students later on, and then the more kudos the simulation industry will get overall, and respect from other people, where sometimes they don't see the benefit of it. Companies as well that are coming out and saying, well, they used AI to develop their software. I think that's hugely important as well, because we need to understand ultimately with AI software, AI is going to win every time. Okay, the thing that's going to advance AI is AI, and we need to stop pretending otherwise, because AI is delivering things faster with higher capabilities than human beings can do. There still needs to be that human element from a design factor behind it. We still need to be specific about the outcomes that we want from AI, but AI is really going to win overall. So those companies that say they're going to continue to do it, develop their AI, it's really, really important, because if you invest in an AI solution and the company is not fixed every day on developing, moving forward with that AI solution and making it do more things, or refining it more so it's more accurate, those companies are going to fall by the wayside. And the companies that are constantly moving forward are the ones that are going to win. But it's got to be useful to the student. It's got to be useful for the outcomes that you want in education, and not over-egg. It's also important to say, if you're going to invest in generative AI, for instance, generative AI with multiple users in multiple buildings, in institutions, multiple rooms, etc., it's going to require really broad width Wi-Fi. And if you haven't got a quick download for Wi-Fi, it's going to become clunky. So you need to make sure that your institution has a really good Wi-Fi solution already put in before you start using AI. Otherwise, it's going to be more frustrating than needs to be. So make sure, if you're thinking of an AI solution, that you're talking to your institution already, making sure that you can use that AI solution within your institution. There are no firewalls that are going to stop you from using that AI. Overall, I think, AI is going to be brilliant. It's really going to help us in the healthcare overall, but certainly in healthcare simulation. But like I say, I'll end this with one thing: just make sure that there is a proper outcome for the student at the end of it, and it's not just a gimmick. Otherwise, it's going to become a very expensive solution that's going to cause more problems than it will solve. Anyway, that's my thing about IMSH 2026. Hope you had a great time if you're there. And look out for all the SimZine videos that are going to come out hopefully in next week with the interviews for the manufacturers. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.